Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Garrett's vlog. Most of his training went really good. The only thing we weren't super happy with was bench press this week, because again it was a 1+ week, so he ended up getting 2 reps on the bench, 5 on the squat, 4 on the press, and 6 on the deadlift. Now again, considering that this is a 1+ week, at 95% training max, most of those are real good. Now, honestly, even a double isn't bad when we're dealing with the bench like this. It's not bad at all. But it is indicative that his bench is not going up as quickly as some of his other lifts. You know, it actually did really good on his 5+ week. We started seeing it tinker down a little, not as good as the other lifts because they continue to go up. Like he was hitting some of the same reps on his 3+ week with heavier weights, and then the reps dropped even further. So it went something like 8-4-2 for his 5-3-1. Whereas in some of the others, like the deadlift went 10-8-6, you know, the squat went 9-9-5. So we weren't as happy with that. So I'm going to have to, again, make some adjustments. We're going to have to make some adjustments to continue to get his bench up. And some of it is a mixture of upper back and shoulders, right, and pecs. Because realistically, even though I have him doing tricep work, I don't think his triceps really limit his bench, right? Because look at what he benches. You know, he's got decent tricep development, and I don't see a tricep deficiency in there. So we're going to continue to train his triceps some just because it's useful for him, particularly as a longer arm guy. But, you know, that being said, we really got to bring up upper back and pectorals. So that's where I'm going to put more and more of our focus, so that we can continue to get that done, because we need to see that happen. We need to see it happen. And I may rotate out these face pulls and replace them with things like rear delt flies, right? So that we can bring up that upper back even more. Especially, you know, again, with a movement, we can load a little more tension, right? We want to get a little more tension on it. But squatting went pretty good, right? We got 5 reps. So we're seeing better improvements there. Now, keeping in mind, his squat has always been his weakest lift. All right, he's best at deadlifting and overhead pressing. But again, for a guy who's 6'5", and I believe that's what he is, he's either 6'4", 6'5". All right, we expect to see those be your best lifts. We expect squatting to be hard, but we expect deadlift and overhead press to be good for tall guys, particularly the deadlift. Again, it's an issue of getting his leverages down. As his deadlift continues to climb, and we'll get to that in a minute, I wasn't really happy with his form this week. All right, so the squatting went great. Same things. His supplemental lifts, as you guys know, are pretty straightforward. We're not changing those. Why? Because his squat continues to climb. All right, the only supplemental work we do for the squat, we just do boring but big. We do goblet squats, which you guys know I love for my tall guys. And we do goblet squats. And we do hanging leg raises. Right? Works great. Works great. You know, and again, people ask why the hanging leg raise. Because not only is it one of the best abdominal exercises, it actually works the adductors. So we're getting a 2-for-1 for increasing our squat, right? Because again, the adductor work, it matters a lot. Overhead pressing went great. I think he did something like 140, right? I think this is around 140. Got 4 reps. It's coming up. All right, so his overall pressing strength is not the issue, and that's the other thing to think about too. If we look at his structure, okay, his overhead press, you know, strength relative to his benching is actually quite good. And notice he has no trouble on lockouts. Look at those hard lockouts and pauses at the top on that heavy set. He's got the tricep strength. Tricep strength is there. We just got to beef his torso up. And it just has to be upper back and things. All right, we've got to bring some of that up. And I think that will help a lot. And again, supplemental work here. This is where I've been putting the dumbbell work for the chest and stuff. I need to move it to his bench day. We need to go ahead and just fully fatigue his chest. You know, take it to the most volume it could take in one day and then leave it alone and work on his other muscles. Right? It's really what we need to do, and I think that's the direction I'm going to go with this. But yeah, I mean, the work is pretty similar here as the other day. We do pull-ups, neutral grip pull-ups. We do dumbbell chest presses. But I'm going to rotate some of this around, right? Some of this needs to be changed. We need it a little bit different. We're going to do that. And again, we see the dumbbell chest presses here. And yeah, it's nice these days when you have a home gym and you've got things like these Selector Tech dumbbells, a good rogue rack, you're in a good position. All right, the only other thing I might love to see him have these days would be stuff like a glute ham raise, reverse hyper. Right, particularly for a lankier guy. I mean, we could argue about the belt squat too, but I think goblet squats work fine for him. The deadlifting, the weights were great. He pulled 365 for, I believe, 6 reps. Right, 95% training max. Now, he's pulled 405 as a 1 rep max not that long ago, but I'm not letting him max out again. But again, notice the arm bend. And we've been talking about it, and we're going to work on fixing that. But notice they're slacking the bar on every single rep. So before people jump up and they're critical of that, let me remind you guys, just because one of my lifters does something on camera doesn't mean I don't yell at them about it. All right? Because I always say there are things that we don't do, and and I get that a lot, and people will say, well, how come your clients do it on camera? Well, I don't know. How come you tell someone to do something and they don't always do it? Welcome to being a coach. Not everyone does exactly what you tell them to do. That includes missing reps, grinding reps, bad form on certain things. It happens. But notice his rep work was cleaner, right? So we're going to work on that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.